Yeah, normally do street photography, run a few street photography meetups in Melbourne. Been running meetups since 2022 in Melbourne, probably every month, once a month, or sometimes even twice or thrice a month. Most of my meetups have been about community and like getting the street photographers together. We don't have a camera requirement in most of them, unless depending on certain niches, we would have a camera requirement depending on the crowd and the concept we are trying to achieve. I run a few workshops as well, which are normally sold out, and the people learn a few good things when they come to a workshop, which we don't price much. It's $25, which is a fair price for our time. On that, I personally love doing cinematic street photography or the cinematic shots that I post on my Instagram accounts. I've tried black and white before. It brings a different emotion, surely, but it's not my cup of tea yet. Maybe I'll do it more in my career as it grows.
So where do we find these meetups?
So the meetup would be, normally all my meetups are posted on meetup.com. We also have an Instagram page called Melbourne Street Photography, which we luckily have the account name for. And I cross-post my events on Eventbrite or Facebook events. So anywhere you would search Melbourne Street Photography, you would find a relevant walk towards it in a month.
Do you have an Instagram that we can find?
Yep. So our Instagram is Melbourne Street Photography, and my other Instagram where you can normally communicate with me is called YASH Street Vibes, which is my street account. So feel free to message me there, and we can have a chat about street photography, catch up for a beer, or anything in general.
What's your philosophy around street photography?
I don't have philosophy.
What is your weapon of choice?
What gear did you bring tonight?
I'm carrying this film camera, Minolta SRT 202, along with a Voigtlander VC light meter and a 51.8 lens. I'm shooting in this Mr. Negative 500T, best in the game for ECN2 films. Shout out to my boy. So it's a ECN2 cinema film, which can be developed cross-processed in C41 or in ECN2 chemicals. Color. It's a color film. It's Kodak Vision 3 film, which they use in Hollywood movies and other places. And luckily, it also provides good result in portraits apparently. And you can shoot in either, although it's a tungsten balanced film, it's all round for daylight as well. If you change temperature after while you're scanning it, it would look really good in daylight, better than portrait. Some of the pictures I shoot, I feel it's better than portrait times. What is my favorite subject to photograph? So I normally like to shoot around candid street photography, but as well as like emotions, and like people yawning is always a good topic, but people showing their raw emotions, affection towards their significant other, or even just enjoying meal, hugging each other, laughing. So the more the emotions, the more I think the pictures look better, and it displays the stories in itself about how a person feels. Sometimes you're angry just having a drink on the road, or the wrinkles or the stress on your face shows up. So that's what I tried to capture and explain a story without captions or anything. If I wasn't doing street photography, what would I be doing? Interesting question. So I think I would be mainly focusing my full attention in MMA or like playing video games basically. Before street photography or photography in general, I was a very shy, introverted person, and I used to spend most of my time inside my house or just do random things in house, but not socialize much with people. So yeah, without photography, my life would be a very different one. I still remember back in 2020 when I first went to a street photography meetup, which was, that time was an Adelaide street photography walk happening, and I decided, okay, I'll just go with, I had a point and shoot camera, and I'll just go there and see what it is about and stuff like that. And I think from that point onward, I started making friends and being more out and about, introduce myself to new people, and I lost a lot of my introvertness or the shyness in that process. And I had a decent life that was social with friends and not just sitting home and chilling around. It changed my life in a way where I'm very open about like what I speak. I'm very social, confident to talk with other people around, and one thing led to another. With photography, I remember an incident back in COVID when I was doing photography by myself. I was doing streets in Adelaide, and there was this one angry guy who was probably junkie, something like that, and he was just throwing random things at people. And at some point, I was shooting some stuff, and he just got my attention, and then he threatened me with a bottle, that he'll stab me with that bottle. And luckily, there were police around who stopped it. And at that point, I realized how defenseless I was, and I started training MMA, Krav Maga, and yeah, just decided to work on myself on this routine where now I love sparring, I love fighting and everything, self-defense and my normal fitness and everything. So photography made me do that as well. So yeah, without it, I wouldn't have MMA, I wouldn't have photography, no, I wouldn't have friends basically in Melbourne.
Did you make a lot of friends?
I made a lot of friends through photography, friends and like very quality people as well. Made some lasting connections, and some people I'll probably be grateful that I know them for life, like they're gonna be with me for the rest of the life kind of friends as well due to photography. And they're not even photographers. Some of the people I met in my meetups, they only came once or twice in a photography meetup, but the connection I made with them was very deep for me personally. I think I prefer shooting at night because the colors are identical. The weather doesn't play much with the exposures as it does in daytime in Melbourne, especially because the sunlight and the overcast keeps changing. Versus night, I know what I'm really shooting because I mainly shoot at night times, and every night I try to take at least few pictures. So I'm very confident shooting at night myself. On a weekly basis, I would run through 6 or 7 rolls of film, and mainly in straight. So I would use 4 to 5 rolls in straight, and the other ones in portraits and just random day-to-day stuff. I always carry a film camera with me whenever I go to work, so I would shoot random pictures throughout the day, and then once in a month I will develop that. So that's normally a half-frame roll, so I get 72 shots in that. But the more important with film is like I try to do home dev a lot of my rolls, so that makes the process effective and cheaper. And then I also sell black and white films myself, which is a good way to get some money off for buying more films in the future. Do I have strangers for photos? I actually do. So I tried for a while doing street portraits, where I was asking strangers for taking their portraits. There's a lot of time in that game. It's all about confidence and how you approach them. Because 90% of time, if you're hesitant, you'll get rejection. But if you go straight to the point and like pitch them a good idea for a picture, I would say start with a compliment on their outfit, their hair, or their makeup, or just overall on them that will flatter them, and then ask for a picture. You're more than likely to be them saying yes, take a picture. Otherwise, if you hesitate and you're not confident in yourself, they're gonna have a second thoughts about why does he want a picture of me. And there's a lot of creeps as it is in Melbourne, so you don't want to be another one who's judged as a creep either. So just go with confidence, have some riz, and yeah, you'll work out. Oh, we're gonna do flash straight photography right now. We are setting up the flash, and we'll get few confrontations hopefully. And that's the aim, I think. Flash is a bit bold normally to shoot because you know you're gonna get in confrontations eventually when you're doing flash for a while. And I've been in confrontations before, and that's why I hesitate a lot like doing flash straight photography normally. Is because of the confrontations, and you don't want to be on someone's bad side. So I would say normally pick your targets wisely. Doing streets for a while, eventually you will realize who is like a big target and who isn't. So my one rule about flash street photography is I would only flash someone if I know I can defend myself against them, which is my basic rule. Is like, I'll see you, and if I could defend myself against you, I would do a flash. So yeah, that's how we normally do flash street photography. You just see your target and you shoot it. It's more about confidence how you achieve it. Sometimes it might freak someone out, but it depends. Like none of the approaches are right. It's just like what you feel right to do it. And street photography is legal, so as long as you're not on a private property and flashing people inside their house, you won't get arrested for it. It's a free country.
How do you deal with arrested people?
You try to calm and diffuse the situation as much. If they ask you to delete the picture, the general rule is you tell them like it's legal to take a picture of you in street, but you still delete it out of the respect for that person. That's what I would do. It depends on the picture as well. If I really like a picture, I would just delete it, but I have a backup SD card that still has the picture in it. So that's my normal rule of thumb with flash street photography. Fuck, they're gonna go. Oh, they're stopping there. That's good.
Do you see anything?
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna flash the people with the sign. They'll just look cool. Let's go. So boys, when you pick your target for flash, you just see them walking around. The rule is you don't stop, and then you just take the picture and leave. Because if you stop, you're hesitating and you're bound to get confrontation. As soon as the flash hits, try to just not look at that right now. Just don't look at the person again. There's times I've seen, there was a rideshare driver once, I think I flashed him and then, oh stop, we both stopped at the light together and we're going in the same direction. So I had a brilliant idea to just flash him. As soon as I did that, he's like, are you crazy? It was just like going off at me. But the thing about being crazy is that you answer with the same energy saying, I am crazy, yeah. I think the tram's burning, but it's Melbourne, it could happen anytime. Also, another rule would be, I would try not to flash kids because their eyesight is still developing and I don't want to just flash bang them or something like that. Yeah, the kids is a sensitive topic when you shoot kids. For me, I don't shoot kids personally, but because you could get into controversies and rumors.
Do you have this thing we call photography triggers?
Yep, I do. So I don't shoot homeless people. I don't shoot kids, and I normally don't shoot someone in a tragic. If it's a tragedy or something happening around me, I wouldn't take that as a street photography concept. Because I think it's just like not right to shoot them. Even people when they're eating food, it's a vulnerable time to shoot someone who's having food. So that's some of the things I avoid shooting. But I've seen other people shoot and take good pictures. So it's my personal opinion and just applies to me normally.
Oh, I can respect that. Wait up. What is your opinion about those TikTokers that say that they're photographers and then take photos of topics?
I think I have a mixed opinion on that topic because they're just doing, it's a lot of people doing it, so it's not some originality in that, because you see one person doing it and then YouTube algorithm likes that thing now. So every single YouTuber is like, okay, I'm a street photographer and I took this picture kind of reel or TikTok videos just for views and traction, but there's no authenticity in that thing. A lot of those things are kind of set up as well. You're already pre-planning your shoot and concept, so there's no originality in that anymore. Maybe the first one someone did that was original, but after that it lost its charm on that. How do I find my motivation? So I think I find my motivation by the people I meet, and it's the thing about me is I get motivated when I see you talk with people, shoot with them, socialize outside rather than being at home. And every time I see someone around, like I learn their stories, that motivates me more to shoot, as well as spending time with my friends from street photography, or overall just like whether it's my housemates or it's photographers, models, and just random people I meet. Spending good quality time and making good memories in the end is part of what motivates me to do it every day. For me, one of my motivations is meeting new people from different countries and learning about them. Learning new languages is another part of my motivation. Running street photography helps me do that. What do I do to counter the burnouts? So currently, it's a good question because right now I'm going through a street photography burnout. So basically I've been shooting 5 times every day a week, and eventually this thing catches up with you. No matter what you say, I don't get burned out or anything. You will get burned out at some point. The best way is try something new for a while. So if I get burned out by street photography, I would do events photography, portraits, or just hang out with my friends and not do photography, but I'll still meet my friends and keep the social connection going. And that allows me to recharge and get back to love what I do. Whereas if in a burnout, if I just keep doing it and don't do anything new for a while, eventually I'm going to lose interest in street photography in general. So I would just say try new things around, like you can do some filmmaking for a while, take some videos or make a podcast, do vlogging, do anything other like landscape photography that excites you, that you don't know much about, is challenging, a learning curve, and you master that for a while. Eventually you'll come back to doing what you love and you were burned out in.
How did you start your photography journey?
I started going to Adelaide street photography walks, which were a basic foundation where I learned doing photography and street photography in general. After Adelaide street photography, I started hosting walks with Adelaide street photography myself, but yeah, the initial days when I was shooting random things without knowing if they're good or not, some of my initial pictures were like very bad from my standards today, but I still thought back then that they were the best pictures I've ever taken. And when you believe in yourself, even if it's bad, you just keep doing, eventually it works out for you. That's what I would say. So what do I value more in photography, failures or success? I would say I value failures and success both equally. In failures, you get to learn new things that you never encountered before, or you can always reassess, go back to drawing board, see what you did wrong with the failures part of things.
Yash, thank you for joining us tonight. It was really fun. Where can we find you?
You can always find me on my personal Instagram account, which is called Dev Life of a Hustler. You can always text me there, and that's the account you need to message me if you want me to respond quickly or just want to catch up with me, socialize. You can always come to photography meetups and meet me there. But if you just want to get to know me better and understand what I do or just hang out with me, just message me. I normally respond quickly, and I'm more than happy to meet new people, hang out, connect with new people in general. That motivates me, so I love doing it. Shout out to Melbourne SPC for an amazing interview. Love the guys and the work they do with workshops, as well as the street photography meetups they learn and the community they look after.